Oh, Merry Christmas, everybody. I've got a more Christmas like video coming out later. But right now, let's follow what's going on in Nashville, in downtown Nashville. On Christmas morning, in the early morning hours, there was a major explosion. An RV exploded. We're going to watch the security footage of this and wait until you hear the warning that was playing from this RV in just a moment. But we've also got to try to figure out why this happened, why Nashville, why this street, and was it all intentional? As you can see from some of the headlines on the screen, it looks like it was. First, the security footage that's just been released, and here it is. Watch this. Very intense. This area must be evacuated now. Coming from this RV that's about to explode. Brace yourself.
You can hear this message. Evacuate now. If you can hear
And then
this message, evacuate now.
rips through Nashville and goes white hot on the cameras. This audio, as I believe playing, I mean, makes the most sense that it was playing from this RV that exploded. And yeah, saying evacuate now. If you can hear this message.
This area must be evacuated now. This area must be evacuated now.
Now, the only other reason I have to believe that that wasn't maybe coming from the RV is that witnesses reported hearing gunshots and a warning before the vehicle explosion. Well, did the gunshots prompt this warning from somewhere else? And if so, from where? I'm trying to make sense of this. WTVF in Nashville says a large explosion was reported in downtown Nashville early Friday morning. It was about 6:30 a.m. and it was on 2nd Avenue. Now, I talked to somebody who is from Nashville who listens to the News Junkie radio show who told me, hey, here's what's going on. This street has a couple of restaurants, but most notably, there's an AT&T building there. And that AT&T building is perhaps one of the hubs for AT&T. Maybe somebody's targeting internet infrastructure. I have no idea, but it's probably no coincidence that it happened where it happened, and that it happened in Nashville, and also on Christmas Day. That seems to be very, very intentional here. Very wild to see this the video of the explosion itself. They don't know if there's other vehicles in the area that may explode or other bombs or whatever. This is probably the same exact video right here. Yes, this is showing us once again the initial explosion. This is a little bit longer. Now, let me see if there's anything. This is after it goes white hot from the explosion moment itself, which is coming up again in just a second. But there's no visible activity that I can see on the street. I don't see any people walking around before this explosion, which is over the top of a door, goes off. Was that somebody at the last moment right there? No, that's just a flag blowing in the wind. And then it comes back too. You can see the carnage, the damage in all of this area, and it's quite bad. I mean, right there, I'll move it up so you can see. A lot of devastation. Car alarms and other alarms are now starting to go off. I'm sure you'll see probably soon some kind of response to this. There's still no activity in the street after this massive explosion has rocked the area. Imagine if you lived there, it would have clearly woken you up. Now, here are the police arriving on the scene where all of this happened. Just unbelievable. A couple other tidbits. Definitely an intentional act according to the Nashville police. This is the Tennessean chiming in. Again, they say 6 a.m., where they had calls of shots fired in the area. Just before the blast, officers were conducting door-to-door checks in the area and redirected a man walking his dog along the street. The force of the explosion knocked an officer to the ground, 3 people hospitalized with injuries. And finally, over to Channel 4. Again, intentional act. The FBI and ATF and MNPD, which is the Metro Nashville Police Department, are on the scene checking this out. Why was this RV there? Whose RV was it? Why would they blow up this RV and destroy this street and cause a couple of injuries at the very least on Christmas morning? Lots of questions here, and we'll have to wait to get those answers. But perhaps the most eerie thing is that sound, you know?
This area must be evacuated
That
now.
in and of itself,
All buildings.
really
This
strange.
area must be
Your
evacuated
thoughts?
now.
What do you think? Why would somebody do this? Why would they do it on Christmas Day? Why would they target this street with some restaurants and an AT&T store in Nashville? I have so many questions, and maybe you have answers. I'm very very intense. As to everybody's take on this, what do you think is going on here, and why today, other than maybe to get attention? Why Nashville? Why AT&T? What are your guesses on this? That's something I'm all ears on. Thank you for checking out this video. And again, I know it's Christmas Day and this is some intense stuff, but it's the reality of the world. So here I am, as always, to present it. And in the meantime, give me your thoughts before we get to an actual Christmas-like video later on today. Thanks and Merry Christmas.